Hey everybody, yeah, here we are back in the garage. Obviously working on the 300ZX Turbo project here. You'll notice I step aside, there are still no suspension in the front there, which can only mean the springs still haven't shown up. Doing my best not to get all bitter about this. Anyway, I won't dwell on that. So I've been taking the time waiting for those, working on the engine bay, the cosmetic side. And most of it is, and I've been videoing, it's just 8 and 10 mil sockets to remove bolts, polishing, cleaning, painting, all that stuff. I'll show the finished result. But I did also remove the AC compressor bracket that was sitting there. And it was a little bit more of a chore than most of the other stuff. Mostly access-wise, like trying to actually get wrenches in to get to those bolts. But I'm just trying to figure out where a couple of the bolts were. So I thought I'd do a real quick video and show you that. Maybe it'll save somebody some time if they're going to do the same. Now I should point out here, it's heavy, I would point out the AC compressor was missing on this car when I bought it. It's been gone for years apparently. Previous owner said it wasn't there when he bought it. I have no intention of renewing the AC system on the car, but I'm leaving it reasonably intact if somebody in the future wants to. But the bracket was just sitting there and looking ugly, so I'm taking it off. And a couple of the hoses that go to the compressor, I've taken off just because they just hung there with absolutely nowhere to live. So I've removed them, but the rest of the system's intact, and it would be very easy to reinstate that stuff on it. So let's go have a look. All right, so this is a turbo car, an 86. So my alternator's down low on the passenger side, and the AC compressor and the bracket sit up high here. I believe on the non-turbos the alternator's over here as well, but I genuinely don't know if that's a separate bracket or not. But I'm showing you what there is on the turbo car. You can see I've got a bunch of the air intake hoses removed here. That's just for cleanup. I'm just carrying on with doing all the detailing under the hood here. And the MAF's all out. I did end up disconnecting this line here, just a clamp, and then you can take that off. That just gives me room to move things around to get a wrench in. Okay, so the AC bracket sits right here, and there are technically a total of 9 different bolts you have to remove to completely free it from the car. There are 2 that hold this bracket here, this pipe bracket to this. There are 2 on the timing belt cover that have to be removed, and then there are 5 on the actual casting itself. 1 here, this is a long bolt that goes right the way down to the head, and then there are 4 bolts down under here to get at. And if I show you the bracket there, these are the 2 top bolts here and here, and then the 2 bottom bolts here and here. This one is the most rearward in the vehicle, and by a long stretch the hardest one to get at, unless you're going to remove all the turbo piping, which I wasn't going to do. So, you know, my suggestion would be, if for working on these 4, I'd get this one off first while everything else is held in place. I did it last because I honestly didn't realize that bolt was attaching the bracket. I thought this was actually a separate bracket. So I had everything else out, and I could get the bracket to pivot but not come off. That's when I discovered this. So as I loosen this, the bracket, because it weighs a ton, wants to keep falling and binding the bolt. So my recommendation would be to do that one last, or first rather, and then do these, and then do that. And in terms of size, these are 14 mils. These ones here, these 2 which are for the timing belt cover, are 8 mil. These 2 which are the bracket for the hose there, they're 8 mil. And then this one long bolt, which is, I'll find it here, is a 12 mil socket. That's the one that goes down and into the head. So that's where all the bolts are. And I also removed these 2 pieces of AC system piping. These both bolt up to the compressor. This one goes down and basically to the heater core, so it goes across the front of the engine and then round. There's a connection right down at the bottom at the frame rail you can undo, and I just took that little piece out, just tidying up. And then this one here goes through to your AC condenser at the front there. There's a bolt you'll have to undo in a bracket, and then you can worm this one out. I got it out. It takes a little bit of jiggling. You definitely need the MAF, etc. out of the way to get this out, but that was done just for tidying things up. So this isn't, like I said, it's not a full AC delete, but you just got those two out of the way. They just hang there, otherwise with nowhere to go. Okay, so if you're planning on taking the AC bracket out of your car, hopefully that gives you a bit of a clue where the bolts are, so maybe you spend less time than I did working on it. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed the video, if you're enjoying the series on the ZX Turbo, a like or subscribe would be awesome for the channel. And as always, drive safe, everybody. Have a great day.